First of all, we'll see why in some materials, we'll see some materials where the atoms, or is I would say magnetic materials. Magnetic materials. So we call few materials which exist in nature as magnetic material. The reason is very simple. If you take any atom of these types of materials, any atom, this atom will act like a magnetic dipole. Magnetic dipole. And therefore each atom you can represent with a symbol. Putting an arrow, you know the meaning of this, right? It means basically you're talking about a magnetic dipole. So you have a minus m here at one end, and then you have here plus m, and this is how you'll get the magnetic dipole. And then why, I'll tell you what is the reason why this atom. So why, I will try to answer this question, why you can take any atom as a magnetic dipole, and then we'll see a case. Now, further, what we'll do, we'll take a group of what you call atoms in such material. We'll take a group of atoms together. We'll take a group of atoms in some volume. So yeah, we'll take a volume of this magnetic material. In this, we'll see that we will have many what you call atoms, and all these atoms will act like magnetic dipole. All these atoms will act like magnetic dipole. But what will happen? All the magnetic dipoles will be randomly oriented. All the magnetic dipoles will be randomly oriented. Let's say if this is giving a magnetic moment here, so you will find that somewhere you will get this. If this is giving you here, so this will give you somewhere you will have this. If we have let's say here, so you will have somewhere like this. So what will happen at the end? You will find that the net magnetic field will be zero. The net magnetic field will be zero. In this volume, you will find that the net magnetic field will come out to be zero. So what will happen inside? Be inside. Though you have taken a, though this is a sample of a second here. So we have taken a sample of this such magnetic material, and we'll find that in this entire volume the B net will be zero. And the reason is very simple. All these vectors, our dipole moments are vectors, so all the vectors will cancel each other, and therefore the B net will be zero. So what we will do next is, in this now we will add some external magnetic field, B naught. And you know the meaning of placing a dipole in a magnetic field. Each dipole will experience a torque. What will happen due to this? What will happen? You will have torque on all the dipoles here, and then what will happen? All the dipoles will try to go to their stable equilibrium position. All these dipoles will try to go to their equilibrium position. So what will happen? You will see something like this. You'll find that all the dipoles will get aligned, sorry, in this direction. I'm not telling you you'll have perfect alignment, so but almost like they will get aligned in this direction. So now what will happen? Now if you take any volume, any particular volume in this sample, right, you'll find that B net will not be equals to zero. Again, I'll repeat it. See, We are going to discuss in this chapter about magnetic materials. Now, what is the meaning of magnetic materials? In all these materials, if I take any particular atom, that particular atom can be replaced with a magnetic dipole. What is the reason behind this? I'll explain that in detail. Just wait for some more time. So when I say that this atom I can replace with a magnetic dipole, so I will represent the atom with an arrow like this. The moment you put an arrow like this means what? At one point you are placing minus of m, at one point you are placing a plus m, and then you have the arrow. Now, if you take any sample of such magnetic material, you will find that in the sample you will have many such dipoles, and at the end all these vectors, all the magnetic dipole moment vectors will cancel each other, and then at the end in this entire sample your net magnetic field will be zero. Now you place this sample in an external magnetic field B naught. Due to this magnetic field, what will happen? All these dipoles will experience torque, and they will try to align themselves along the direction of the magnetic field. So you'll get this alignment here now. So now you will find that if you take any volume, you will get B net as not equals to 0. So after this, once you reach to this point, what we'll do? We'll define a term called as intensity of magnetization or just magnetization. We'll define a term called as I vector. This is called as intensity. Intensity of magnetization, or sometimes you say just as magnetization. And how you define this? See, we have written a vector quantity. It's a vector quantity. So what we do here? Now, if you take any volume, if you take any volume inside this sample, definitely you will have a net magnetic moment here. You will have a mu vector. Will not be zero. Will not be zero. You will have some mu vector here. So this is mu vector, that is magnetic moment vector, upon volume. This is how we define the intensity of magnetization. So what will the unit of this? If I ask you what is unit of this? If I ask you what is unit of this? Unit of I. See, what is magnetic? What is mu? I into A, ampere into meter square by meter cube. So we'll get ampere per meter, ampere meter inverse. This will be the unit of I, ampere per meter. Now at this point only, I'll teach you something very unique here, which will help you to solve numericals. See here, and I do believe that you will definitely understand why I am telling you this as unique. See here. What is Biot-Savart law? Biot-Savart law is given as dB vector equals to mu naught times of Ni upon, sorry, not mu naught, sorry, mu naught times of mu naught divided by 4 pi dl vector cross r vector upon r cube. This is the formula of magnetic field. So now, sorry यार, क्या मैं बोल रहा हूँ? Second, I'm writing force and mixing everything. Sorry. Mu naught times of what is magnetic field? dB vector by Biot-Savart law. Mu naught times of I by 4 pi dl vector cross r vector upon r cube. So can you see something very important here? Mu naught is there. I is what? Ampere. I is ampere. I is ampere. So and dl into r will give you r square r cube. So ampere meter is available here. Therefore, you can see that this ampere meter multiplied with mu naught, that is mu naught into I, intensity of magnetization, will have the dimension of magnetic field. It's very, very important. Or you can say intensity of magnetization unit will be same as unit of B naught vector divided by mu naught. This is very, very important. You'll see so many logics here, or all the different terms that you will have. You can relate very easily if you understand this small thing here. I'll show you that. I'll show you how this will help you to solve questions, to understand the theory here. So next, after this, we'll see a small example of calculation of. After this, we'll see a small example of calculation of. Let's say I'll give an example of calculation of intensity of magnetization in case of bar magnet. In case of bar magnet, so I will take a bar magnet here. I'll take a bar magnet here. I'll take a bar magnet here. You know the meaning of bar magnet? You will have like this. At one end, you will have the north pole. North pole is basically plus M. This is called pole strength, right? This is called pole strength. And at one side, you will have minus of M. That is the south pole. And distance between them is what? L. Distance between them is what? L. This is L. So how you write this intensity of magnetization for this case? You can write I equals to what? Therefore, you can write I equals to magnetic moment. So M into L. M into L. Upon what? Area of cross section multiplied by L. So it will get cancelled. So what is the matter? So you found the value of this. So this we'll see. Example, one more example I will give you. Let's say if I ask you to calculate the intensity of magnetization for a solenoid. Let's say second case. Let's say if I ask you to calculate the intensity of magnetization for a solenoid. I'll take a solenoid here. This is solenoid. And let's see you pass a current through the solenoid. So let's say total length of the solenoid is L. By the way, you know it's also a bar magnet, right? So at any point inside, you know the value of magnetic field. So for one loop, what is the magnetic moment? Mu IA vector is the magnetic moment for one loop, right? This we multiply by the total number of turns. So N is the number of turns per unit, so you will multiply by NL. NL is the total number of turns. This will give the net magnetic moment in this case, divided by the volume. So I'll just write the magnitude. Let's say I'll remove area here. Area is pi r square, by the way. So what will get from here? You will get A into what? A into length L. So you can see here, L will cancel, A will cancel. So what is I then? Intensity of magnetization is nothing but Ni for a solenoid. A very, very important result which will help you to solve numericals. So now, before I proceed further, now I'll just fill this gap, this question mark I'll explain, and then we'll go to the next part of this chapter, that is your NIT. So right now I'm discussing intensity of magnetization. Next will be magnetic intensity. It's very confusing. Okay, so always remember that intensity of magnetization is like you say induction. You can say intensity induction of magnetism. Something related to that. And magnetic intensity. So see, the first thing that they were studying here is your intensity of magnetization. You have already got magnetization developed in a body, and then you're defining this term. This is how you can remember. This is your I vector. I vector is defined as what? You take any volume inside the material. In that volume, now you will have a net magnetic moment. Divide that net magnetic moment by the volume. You will get the intensity of magnetization in that volume. And then we use this definition. You can see here we use this definition. We use this definition to calculate the magnetic intensity for a bar magnet. To calculate the magnetic intensity for a solenoid, it came out to be Ni. I'm just trying to now fill this gap. See here. Now, let's try to answer this question mark here first. That's a theoretical chapter. If you follow the theory, definitely you will see the questions of JEE Main, NEET, even a school level. I have not taken J advanced question by the way. I have seen J advanced questions also of this topic. They are so simple here, provided you know each and every point very clearly. Okay, see. So now in this case, if you take any case of atom, you will have a nucleus, and you can consider the orbital motion of electron. If you consider any orbit, we consider any orbit here. We consider any orbit here. So now, in this orbit, let's say you have an electron, and the electron is revolving this orbit. So for the circular motion of electron, you can always calculate the dipole moment corresponding to the circular motion of electron. By the way, we have seen questions also where you can take a ring of charge and you can rotate that with an angular velocity of omega. We have discussed questions. These are very common questions that can also give you magnetic moment. In this case, see here, if you stand at any cross-sectional area here, okay. So now here, if I ask you, what is the current? What is the current due to this? So current will be obviously in this direction. Current will be in this direction. If the electron is moving in this direction, current will be in this direction, right? Or you can do ulta. What you can do, because in NCRT they have taken an ulta direction, so I will also take the ulta direction. See here, you have electron. Let's say the electrons are moving in this direction. So what will happen? Your current will be in this direction. So how will calculate current due to this electron motion orbit in the orbit? It's a radius is r. Very simple. Current is what? If you stand here, current is charged by time. E by t is the value of current. So you got the value of current. Current is charged by time period. So once you get the value of I, you can calculate the dipole moment for this orbital motion of electron. What is dipole moment here? You will get mu equals to what? I into A. I into A, right? So we'll get from here. So you can say t is what? Let's say if it's moving velocity v, so you can always write t equals to what? You can always write t equals to 2 pi r upon v. Total distance covered is what? 2 pi r divided by v. You can write like this also. So what is I into A? I will write from a E upon t. T I can write from a 2 pi r upon what? V. I can write like this. What is area? Area will be your pi r square. So pi will cancel. 1 r will also cancel. So you are left with EVR divided by 2. And what you can do next here is divide and multiply by m. So we'll get m mvr into E by 2m. Now what is mvr? mvr is nothing but the angular momentum magnitude, right? You can see r vector and v vector. The angle between them is 90 here. So you know from class 11 mechanics, right? Angular momentum is always r vector multiplied linear momentum. Linear momentum is pm. So the angle between them is 90. So it's rmv sin 90. So rmv is L. So you got what? You got mu equals to what? Angular momentum into charge E divided by 2 pi. And if you want to write in terms of vector notation, right, you can see that L vector will be what? Down the plane. R cross mv, when you do, you see this is your r vector this way, v vector. So r cross mv will look down. So what will happen? And this ia vector is up. So if you want to write in vector notation, you have to write this like this. Mu vector equals to what? Minus of E into L vector divided by 2m. So we can see that this I'm not going to I'm not defining further after the value of Bohr magnetron and all. That is not done. I was trying to show you that yes, the orbital motion of electron give rise to a magnetic moment like this. Even you will see that electrons will spin about their own axis, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. This spin motion will also give you an angular moment, will also give you a magnetic moment. Even the nucleus is charged party, they will also spinning and they will give you. But the contribution due to these two will be very, very small as compared to this. Therefore, the majority of the major contribution for magnetic behavior will come due to this mu vector, not due to the spin motion of the electron or not due to the motion of the nucleus. By the way, all these things you study with the help of quantum physics, which is not in your syllabus. Neither you will study this in engineering. If you do PhD, then only you are going to study quantum physics. This is not a part of your syllabus. This is given in SC Verma also. Just a small point is given, that is electron will also spin about their own axis. They will have a magnetic moment with the reference to their spin motion also. Even the nucleus will spin about the way Earth is revolving, but that will contribute very small magnetic moment. So if you see the contribution of magnetic moment due to orbital motion of electron, it will be far above than these two contributions. So at the end, it is the electron orbital motion which will be responsible for giving the magnetic moment of an atom. So what's the conclusion here? Magnetic moment of electrons contribute maximum for the magnetic behavior of an atom. For the magnetic behavior of an atom. So now what happens here? See, so magnetic moment of electrons contribute maximum for the magnetic behavior of an atom. Now, electrons have a tendency to cancel their magnetic moment in pairs. Like if you take helium, example of helium atom, very famous here. Helium, 2 electrons you will have it, up, down. So what will happen? They will cancel. So net magnetic moment will be 0. Now we are not taking such atom at this case. And there, when we talk about magnetic materials is for those materials in which atoms magnetic moment will not cancel out. You will have something left out, right? This is what I am indicating. Those atoms we indicate with an arrow like this. This arrow means what? The atom is basically a magnetic dipole. Okay, so at the end, I'll just review what I have written on this first sheet. Like this, you have 2 more sheets. The chapter is over, and then we can. No, the topic is over, not chapter. Like we have divided this into 4 subtopics. This is the last topic in this chapter. And trust me, if you just follow what I have taught you today, each and every concept will be cleared, and you can solve any question of any level, whether school level, JEE, NEET, JEE Advanced, even in engineering. When you join engineering, you will have these subjects here, and trust me, you will enjoy the subjects there when you have clarity like this. Let's see the concept again here. So we're discussing in this chapter about magnetic material, and later we'll discuss the properties of magnetic material. So first of all, we need to understand what are magnetic materials, and then next we will see what are the properties of magnetic material. Now, when we say magnetic material, for any material we'll have atom. Now these atoms will act like a magnetic dipole. What is the reason for that? Explained here. If you consider any electron revolving in its orbit, this orbital motion of electron gives rise to one magnetic moment. Even the electron will spin about their own axis. This will also give you a magnetic moment. Even the nucleus, a charged particle, spins about its axis. So this will also give you a magnetic moment. But the contribution of magnetic moment due to these two is very, very feeble here. It is very, very weak in comparison to the magnetic moment contribution by this orbital motion of electron. So at the end, for an atom, the major contribution in magnetic moment comes from orbital motion of electron. But then orbital motion, the magnetic moment contributed by orbital motion of electron have a tendency to cancel in pair. In the sense, let's say if you consider helium, in helium you have 2 electrons, right? And both electrons will cancel their magnetic moment, and hence at the end you will find 0 magnetic moment in case of helium. And helium will not be regarded as a magnetic material. So right now we're discussing, we have taken the sample of those materials where the net magnetic moment is not zero. And therefore, each atom there we can replace with a magnetic dipole like this. But all the dipoles in this sample will be randomly oriented. So when we add all, magnetic moment means what? It's a vector quantity. So when we add all these vectors, you'll find that at the end, the net vector will come out to be zero. There's no net magnetic moment inside the material. Now we place this material in an external electric field, let's say B naught. And you have already seen electric dipole also. When you place a dipole in a field, the dipole will exert a torque on the dipole will experience a torque due to the field P cross E. Here you will have mu cross B, and then the dipole will try to align themselves along the direction of the magnetic field or the electric field. That's a stable configuration. So all the dipoles will align themselves like this. So now if you take any particular volume inside the material, you will find that in that volume, now you don't have a zero net magnetic moment. You will have some magnetic moment. You will say that the material now has got magnetized. So the moment it gets magnetized, we define a term. That is your intensity of magnetization or magnetization. Now magnetization has already happened. Now we are defining what is the intensity, how intense the magnetization has happened. So we'll do a very famous, a very simple thing. We'll take any volume and we'll say that if you consider what your two materials, we consider same amount of volume in it. And in one case, if you have more magnetic moment developed, you'll say that there the magnetization is more. And hence this is the definition that we have. Intensity of magnetization or simply magnetization is defined as magnetic moment per unit volume. This definition is quite obvious, right? If you want to compare different materials and you want to compare for the degree of magnetization, you can always use this term, right? So you can see the unit here. If I define like this, mu will be what? IA, current into magnetic field, right? IA. Current is current into area, but you have volume. So ampere meter inverse will be the unit of I. So you can, you know, from Barrett-Sebert law, if you have a small current element, the magnetic field due to this is given as mu naught of I by 4 pi dl cross r upon r cube. I is what ampere, this is what meter, ampere upon meter, ampere meter inverse, right? Ampere meter inverse you have here. So you can see that if you multiply mu naught with ampere meter inverse, mu naught also has got unit, okay? You will get dimension of magnetic field. This is what I'm writing. I has a unit of ampere meter, so if you multiply this with mu naught, so mu naught I will have the dimension of magnetic field, and therefore intensity of magnetization will have the unit B by mu naught. Very, very important concept. Now let's apply this formula to calculate the magnetic moment for at least two cases here. One is a bar magnet, then next solenoid. By the way, both are bar magnet only at the end, right? So let's see how we'll calculate the magnetic moment for a bar magnet. So you have bar magnet here. You know the meaning of bar magnet, right? You will have a pole here. You will have a pole here. North pole, south pole. North pole is basically indicated by a positive magnetic charge plus n, and then you indicate this negative magnetic charge, that's minus n, and the length between them, the separation between them is L. So now for this bar magnet, if I ask you what is the intensity of magnetization, so you will calculate the magnetic moment. What is magnetic moment here? M into L. Here volume. Volume, what is volume here? Let's say the area of cross section here is A. So A multiplied by L is the volume. So you will say Pole strength upon A is the intensity of magnetization for a bar magnet. Now if I ask you to calculate the intensity of magnetization for a solenoid, you pass a current through a solenoid. Let's say L is the length of the solenoid. Inside the magnetic field will be what? And mu naught times of Ni. You know this, right? So now if I ask you what is the net magnetic for one loop, what is the magnetic moment? I into current into area. But how many such loops here? NL. N is the number of turns per unit. NL. Volume is what? Area of, like cylinder. You can think of a cylinder. Area of cross section multiplied by L is the volume. LL will cancel. AE will cancel. So Ni. So what is intensity of magnetization in this case? Ni. This is what I have discussed here till now. If anyone is having doubt here, please ask. किसी को कुछ डाउट है भाई प्लीज पूछो, else you can take the screenshot.
एम्पियर पर मीटर कैसे आ रहा है?
क्या बोल रहे हो? एम्पियर मीटर इनवर्स कैसे हो रहा है ये पूछ रहे हो?
Yes.
देखो, you are writing here mu vector. What is mu vector? Magnetic moment. What is the magnetic moment? Current into area, no? Current is what? Ampere. Area is what? Meter square. Volume is what? Meter cube. So meter square by meter cube. All get 1 meter will left in the denominator, no? Therefore unit is what? Ampere meter inverse.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. If anyone is
Yes,
having
sir.
any
Understood.
okay, if anyone else is having any doubt anywhere in this there, please ask. आपको कहीं भी डाउट है, कहीं पे भी यहाँ पे क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है, आप प्लीज पूछो. आप पूछोगे तो मैं बता पाऊंगा. It's a virtual interface, sir. I'm not able to see you, neither you are able to see me. And so the only thing through which we can communicate is your voice, right? So you have to speak if you have any issues, if you're not able to understand anything. Okay, then done. So I'm taking the liberty from you people to go to the next topic because you're not asking me anything. So I believe that you have. So I have taught really well. I can think. I can understand this way. Okay, I have taught really well so that you're not asking. None of you is asking any doubt. So we'll go to the next topic now. So next देखते हैं क्या होता है इसमें. Now you have. So now you know the meaning of magnetic material. Yeah. Okay. So now we'll see classification of material, magnetic material, and next we'll see some more terms like what is the meaning of magnetic intensity, what is the meaning of susceptibility, what is the meaning of permeability, and we'll see how these factors will vary for those three types of magnetic materials. And at the end, we'll see hysteresis. The topic will be covered, and then we can aram se solve the questions. If you want to study this topic in detail, it's given in chapter number 37 in SC1 Maya. I request all of you, if you are really serious, if you want to again have a understanding of what I'm teaching you in more detailed way, you should definitely refer to SC1 page number. This is page number 279, chapter number 37. As a good student, I'll recommend SC Verma for every topic here. Don't believe your school teachers. Number one, don't believe SC Verma. This NCRT. SC Verma, you should always read here to understand the theory. And if you want to study more in detail, you have a very good book called as Resnick Walker Halliday. Again, a tremendous book. Resnick Walker Halliday is the Bible of physics book. And I will tell you in this way. And in fact, S.C. Verma sir has told that he has copied, he has actually taken what you call benchmark, he has kept what you call as Justin called Halliday as a benchmark, and he has written this book for Indian students. So these two books, either by the way, you can always refer S.C. Verma, and if you have more interest, by the way, I don't think you have this, and you don't have time also to spend this much on physics, so you should definitely refer S.C. Verma. 3 pages, you can complete off really fast. Okay, so let's see. So now we'll see classification of magnetic materials. Classification of magnetic materials. And I request all of you, after my class now, do watch Vedantu protocol videos, do watch an academic video, okay, and challenge me that they are giving better than this. They can't give that. They're teaching, they're just trying to fool students there by giving a very diluted form of what you call chapter, so that it looks very lucrative, it looks very easy. The chapter, there's nothing in the chapter, and you can complete within no time, but it's not the reality. If you don't believe, just wait for the session to get over. Just go through my session and then take any video available on internet. Just trying to do what you call marketing to fool students, to make them feel like the chapter is really easy. There's nothing in the chapter. They can teach them like superheroes. They're absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Please here. So we know the meaning of magnetic material. Now we have a complete understanding of magnetic materials. Those materials where every atom is acting like a magnetic dipole. That's the meaning of magnetic materials. And you can magnetize them. If you put this in external magnetic field, they will get magnetized. But seriously, all magnetic materials get magnetized. We'll see. The answer is no. Let's see. We classify this into 3 categories. First is your paramagnetic materials. Second is your ferromagnetic materials. And the last that you have is your diamagnetic materials. So we classify the magnetic materials into three categories: para, ferro, and dia. Let's try to see the what are the differentiating behaviors that you will have for these materials under the application of external field. Obviously, all these three will have magnetic materials. Means what? Initially, all the magnetic dipoles will be randomly oriented, and net magnetic field is zero. What you will have in the beginning for all three? What is common for all three? I will write it here. For all three, this holds true. What holds true here? All atoms, I will write it, in any volume, in any volume, net magnetic moment, net magnetic moment, net magnetic moment due to atomic magnetic dipoles, due to atomic magnetic dipoles will be zero. Will be zero. This part is common in all the cases. That's the meaning of magnetic material. That's the meaning of magnetic material. But then why do we classify as para, ferro, dia? Okay, so let's try to understand this. Now what happens in paramagnetic material? See a very simple what you call a diagram that you will find in most of the books here. I will write it here. See, let's say you have a magnetic material. Let's say you have magnetic field region like this. Let's see, you have magnetic field region like this. By the way, you would have noticed that I have taken 4 sessions to complete this topic here. The reason is normally students hate these chapters. And the logic is very simple, because you normally you feel like in physics you will not have these many theoretical theory. Otherwise, it looks like biology, right? And the school teachers contribute a lot to this feeling of what you call hating these subjects, these topics, and that's the reason they're school teachers. They will die there itself. Yeah. But when they die, right, before that they will kill what you call, they will destroy so many students' life. That's the problem. This is what you have. You have a magnetic field here, let's say B vector here. I'll draw 3 such regions here. I'm drawing 3 such regions here. Now we place material here. See, we'll place material here. Okay. Now, what happens in this case? In the first case, these field lines will change their pattern here. Will change it will not be like this now. The moment we put this material here, no, the field lines will change their pattern like this. This is what you are going to have in this case. One possibility. Second possibility that you will get is this. They will go inside this here. In fact, they will try to attract more inside them. One behavior. The third behavior is third behavior will be like this. So you can see that if you place some material, the magnetic field lines are getting modified, right? In the first case, you have a very feeble what you call attraction. You have very all the field lines, large amount of field lines are getting attracted by this material, and the magnetic field lines are repelled by this material. This material we call as what? Paramagnetic. Paramagnetic. This is called as ferromagnetic. This is called as diamagnetic. Right? As simple. This is just a nomenclature. This is just a nomenclature, right? So let's solve a small question here. You all will answer this question here. There's nothing in this question. Please answer it fast. Which option for this question? Which answer? Which option for this question here? Tell me fast. You can reply in the chat box. जल्दी बता भाई, इसमें क्या अभी तो जस्ट बताया तुम लोग को यार, क्या बात कर रहे हो? सबको दो यार, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है। तो अब बच्चों वाले क्वेश्चन में तुम गलत करोगे, नहीं आंसर करोगे तो हो गया भाई। देखो समझो फिर आंसर करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन आंसर करो। सबको आंसर करना चाहिए यार। समझो, ईमानदारी से आंसर करो। इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, इट्स ओके, देन यू डोंट आंसर, बट देन इफ यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, प्लीज आंसर इट। तो सबने बी दिया है अभी तक, जितने लोगों ने दिया मैंने देखा सबने बी दिया है, ठीक है ना? किसी ने बी के अलावा नहीं दिया, ठीक है? ऑब्वियसली अभी तो पढ़ा, अभी जस्ट यही तो पढ़ा हम लोगों ने, ठीक है ना? इसमें कोई बड़ी बात थी भी नहीं, इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। देखो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है इस केस में? रिपेल हो रहा है ना, रिपेल हो रहा है, पूरा का पूरा रिपेल हो रहा है। इसमें अट्रैक्ट हो रहा है, लेकिन ज़्यादा इसमें क्राउडेड, यहाँ क्राउड होकर अट्रैक्ट हो रहा है। ये तो फेरो हो गया, ये डाया हो गया, और ये क्या हो गया आपका? पारा हो गया। तो फेरो डाया पारा ओवर, राइट? देखो ऐसे भी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, आपके बोर्ड में भी आते हैं भाई दिवस क्वेश्चन, इसलिए मैं पहले बोला एक बार पूरा पढ़ लो। एक भी क्वेश्चन छूट गया आपके बोर्ड में या इधर जेई तेई में या नीट थीट में तो मुझे बताना, आप चाहो तो स्क्रीनशॉट ले सकते हो। ओके, सो एक क्वेश्चन और मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ, लेट्स सी इफ यू कैन आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन। एक क्वेश्चन आपसे और मैं पूछता हूँ, ठीक है ना? चलो एक क्वेश्चन और सॉल्व करो आप लोग। गिव मी द आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन। अगेन अ वेरी वेरी लेम क्वेश्चन है। प्लीज गिव मी द आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन फास्ट। अच्छे से देखो, समझो, अपने आप को बिलीव करो, इसका आंसर दो। सबको एक साथ देखेंगे हम लोग आंसर, सबको देना चाहिए इसका आंसर यार। ईमानदारी से समझो क्वेश्चन को और आंसर दो, हड़बड़ा के आंसर मत देना, आप समय ले लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, बट सही आंसर दो आप। बस अब नहीं देना है किसी को आंसर? कितने लोगों ने दिया? फिर जिनको देना दे दो, फिर मैं एक साथ देख लूंगा, ठीक है? इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ, आप एक बार दे दो तो मैं देखता हूँ सबका आंसर एक साथ, ठीक है? चलो, तो आप लोगों ने अभी तक आंसर दिया, ठीक है ना? देखते हैं हम लोग आंसर्स के रिस्पॉन्सेज क्या है। ओके, सो सभी लोगों ने इसका बी दिया है, ठीक है ना? इधर भी सबने बी ही दिया है, ठीक है? चलो चेक करते हैं हम लोग इसको, ठीक है ना? एग्जाम्पल ऑफ यस, ठीक है? तो ऑब्वियसली यार ये बी होगा। अभी जस्ट क्या पढ़ा देखो ना, अभी जस्ट बोला ना कि वो पूरा पूरा एक्सपेल करता है कौन करता है? देखो, आप यदि देखोगे यहाँ पे जस्ट थ्योरी अभी पढ़ाया, देखो यहाँ से पूरा गायब ही हो गया। यदि मैं बोलूँ यहाँ पे इनसाइड, बी इनसाइड, यहाँ क्या है? ये तो जीरो है। ये इधर क्वेश्चन में पूछ रहा है। यही औकात है इन पेपर्स का। मैं कोई मार्केटिंग नहीं कर रहा हूँ यार। आप तमीज से पढ़ोगे, कंसेप्चुअल पढ़ोगे, बोर्ड में भी नंबर आएगा, यहाँ भी हो जाता है। ठीक है ना? इसलिए मैं स्कूल टीचर्स को अच्छा खासा गाली देता हूँ। यही रीजन, और कोई रीजन नहीं। ठीक है, समझ में आया? काफी आसान क्वेश्चन था ये। देयर वाज नथिंग इन दिस क्वेश्चन यार। चलो इस क्वेश्चन को बना ही लो, एक सेकंड रुको। एक क्वेश्चन ये वाला एसटीसी से, एसटीसी से कोई दिक्कत नहीं। ओके, चलो इस क्वेश्चन को सबको बता दो। इस क्वेश्चन को आराम से बनाना, हड़बड़ी नहीं है, बहुत समय हमारे पास है, आराम से बनाओ इसको। अभी जस्ट इसको बताया था आप लोग को भाई दिवे। चाहो तो ओरली भी कर सकते हो आंसर, ओरली मत करना ऐसे। थोड़ा इज्जत दे दो इसको और बताओ इसका आंसर। चलो सबको इसका आंसर लाओ। तो इतनी भी इज्जत मत दो यार, हो गया। आंसर दो। क्या मजाक बना दिया तुम लोगों ने। अबे जस्ट बत पढ़ाया आपको, ऐसे इतनी इज्जत ये लायक भी नहीं है क्वेश्चन। वैल्यू बढ़ा दे रहे हो इसका तुम लोग तो यार। ये कहा है शाश्वत का आंसर आ रहा है। सब ऐसे ही बैठे रहो। एक ही बच्चे ने आंसर दिया। निशा सब 3 लोगों का अभी तक आया। अब सबका आंसर आ रहा है। अभी जस्ट डिराइव किया, ठीक है ना? अभी जस्ट डिराइव किया। इसका फॉर्मूला क्या था? एन आई था। एन आई था ना? एन आई आंसर आया था इसका। मैं इंटरेस्ट यही आया था। व्हाट इज एन है? नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स पर यूनिट लेंथ होता है। कितने टर्न दिए वहां? 500 दिए हुए टर्न्स। तो उस 500 को लिख दो यहाँ पे। ठीक है ना? पर यूनिट लेंथ बोला था ना, तो लेंथ कितना है इसका? इसका लेंथ कितना? 20 से 25 सेंटीमीटर है। तो पर यूनिट लेंथ, तो 25 सेंटीमीटर, सेंटीमीटर को मीटर में कन्वर्ट कर लो, तो एक 100 आ जाएगा ऊपर में। ठीक है ना? आ गया, ये मीटर में कन्वर्ट हो गया। इनटू क्या? आई आई कितना दिया हुआ है? 15। इसको बस सॉल्व करना था। ये बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट था आपके लिए ना। ये 3 हो जाएगा, ये 5 हो जाएगा, और ये क्या हो जाएगा? 100 हो जाएगा। तो कितने आ गए? 4। 1 2 3 4 ओवर। कितना थर्ड ग्रेड क्वेश्चन आता है यार। इससे भी कोई नीचे आता है? कोई क्या जाता है? देखो कौन जा रहा है। कौन सा एग्जाम है ये? यही है जितना हुआ सब बना के रखते हैं, जेई मेन। मैं सही बता रहा हूँ, बोर्ड है ये, बोर्ड। सीबीएसई बोर्ड है ये। प्रोवाइड आप सलीके से, तमीज से चीज़ों को कंप्लीट कर रहे हो, एक टॉपिक को पढ़ रहे हो तमीज से, तो इसकी इतनी औकात है। बस इससे ज़्यादा औकात नहीं है इन सब एग्जामिनेशन में। और आप सब जा सकते हो एनआईटी। अच्छे एनआईटीज में, अच्छे कॉलेजेस बैंगलोर के। यू ईच डिजर्व अ सीट देयर विथ अ मिनिमम पास परसेंटेज ऑफ 95% इन बोर्ड्स। वो मिनिमम बोल रहा हूँ मैं आपको, यदि आप तमीज से पढ़ते हो तो। अपने स्कूल टीचर्स को बिलीव नहीं करते हो तो। ओके चलो हम लोग कुछ आगे बढ़ते हैं, टॉपिक को पढ़ते हैं। तो अब थोड़ा देखते हैं इसके रीजंस क्या है। व्हाट इज द रीजन फॉर दिस बिहेवियर? तो ये बिहेवियर समझ में आ गया, ठीक है। अब हम लोग यहाँ पे कुछ इसके तरीके से इसको समझते हैं कि व्हाट इज द थ्योरी बिहाइंड दिस एक्सप्लेनेशन, ऐसा क्यों होता है, उसको हम लोग समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। सो लेट्स सी। ओके चलते हैं। तो हम लोग जरा रीजन को देखते हैं कि भाई क्या रीजन है ऐसे बिहेवियर का, ऐसे बिहेवियर का और ऐसे बिहेवियर का। ठीक है ना। एक तो बहुत ही सिंपल इसका रीजन हुआ, क्या वही बात हो गया। What happens in this case? All the dipoles further get aligned in the same direction, and therefore they will also create magnetic field, and that will get added to this. Therefore, the net magnetic field will increase. As simple as this. इसका क्या होता है? इसमें बेसिकली क्या होता है? Ferromagnetic substance in the beginning, before applying the magnetic field. There are two ways of explaining this ferromagnetism. One is your domain theory. One is your domain, let's say growth, and one is your domain alignment. Like I will tell you. See, so what happens in ferromagnetic substance? If you take any volume, any particular volume of this material, ferromagnetic material, you will find that if you take any second, if you take any volume of this material, ferromagnetic material, you'll find that I'm taking the exactly same thing what is given as Seva, so that exactly after the class you can always see from there and you will find the same thing there. So you can divide the entire into 4 parts like this, and you'll find that all the dipoles here in this volume will give you a dipole moment in a particular direction. Here also they will give in particular direction, here also they will give in particular direction, here also they will give a particular direction, and you can see at the end it is zero. At the end it is zero. But in this particular volume, you can see that all the dipoles are already aligned in one direction. In this domain, in this particular domain also, they are already aligned in. So net is zero, but then domain wise you are getting net magnetic moment. This is what you will have in ferromagnetic substances. So now if you put this material in an external electric field, let's say if you put this in an external electric field like this, let's say electric field is like this, B vector. So now what will happen in this case? There are two ways you will develop magnetism in this. One is your domain growth. Right now it is what? Unmagnetized. It is what? Unmagnetized. Unmagnetized. This is unmagnetized. And now here you will have one is your domain growth and one is your domain alignment. Domain alignment. This is what you have. Domain growth means all the domains which are pointing in the direction of the magnetic field will grow, and all other domains which are not pointing in this direction will decrease. So what will happen? This material, what you see here, in this now, you'll find that this domain, this particular domain will increase, and all these will decrease, and therefore what will happen? You will have a net dipole moment in this direction. This is one way of developing magnetism. Now it is magnetized. It is what? Magnetized. It is magnetized via domain growth. Domain alignment means what? In the direction of this. Now all the dipoles will try to orient themselves in this direction. They will try to orient this. What will happen? It will move up. This will move in this direction. This will also move in this direction. So all the dipoles now, also all the dipoles in the domain, the different domain, will try to align. It is already aligned in this direction now. So what will happen now? You'll see a net magnetic field in this direction. If you add all the vectors now, this is called domain alignment. And as this is already existing, right? This magnetism what you get after due to these phenomena so will be very high. That's why more magnetic field lines will get attracted here. But in this case, what happens? They actually try to oppose. There are some materials which try to oppose. They will develop magnetic field in opposite direction. Let's say you have like this is a magnetic field that you have applied. Now the dipoles will get aligned in this direction. So what happens? They will try to cancel. This is what happens in case of diamagnetic substances. This is what you have. So this is how we explain the different behaviors. If anyone is having doubt in this expression, you can ask him. There is a push look. If you doubt, please push look. Else you can take the screenshot. Now I'll teach you three important terms. magnetic intensity, magnetic susceptibility, and permeability. So these three terms now I'm going to teach you. Now again, slightly confusing what you call nomenclatures that you have here, but try to make the things very comfortable for all of you. Let's see if I succeed in this or not. So please, yeah. So we have here three things I'm going to teach you. After this, I just need to teach you one curious chapter that's very, very small topic. And then last, that is hysteresis loop. That's it. This chapter is over. And we'll solve the questions also. Let's revise this more than enough. And if you're revising conceptually here, right, the way I taught you, even if you take boards, JE, NEET, CET, any exam, JE Advanced also, I'm telling you, you will be able to solve the questions of this topic. Okay. So I'm teaching you now magnetic intensity. Magnetic intensity. H vector. Then I'll teach you magnetic susceptibility. And then I will teach you magnetic permeability. And at the end, so, two more topics you will have. One is your Curie's law. Curie's law. And then a very, very important, an important differentiating factor between, where I'll teach you very important, that is an important differentiating property. An important differentiating property. Differentiating property between your para or para or ferro and diamagnetic substance. And the last, I'll teach you hysteresis. Yes. This is a topic that I need to complete for you now in this particular part of the chapter. After this, the chapter is over, and we'll solve the questions, and then we'll sleep around. So now let's try to understand what is the meaning of magnetic intensity. We have already seen intensity of magnetic. Now we are seeing magnetic intensity. Okay, so let's see what is this. Now, as I told you earlier also, if you multiply magnetic field with mu naught, if you multiply magnetic field with mu naught, right, you get what? Dimensions of intensity. Ulta, if I divide magnetic field by mu naught, I'll get the dimension of intensity. Right. Now let's say the net magnetic field. Let's see you have applied the magnetic field in the material and the net magnetic field inside the material. Just a second there. Okay, now let's see here. So what I'm telling here is, we already seen that if you multiply magnetic field, let's say magnetic field B, if you multiply magnetic field B with mu naught, you get what? You get magnetic intensity. Right. So if I divide intensity by mu naught, sorry, ulta I told you, sorry. If I multiply intensity B mu naught, if I multiply intensity with this, now I get the dimension of what? B. This is what you have. So now if I divide B by mu naught, I'll get the intensity, the dimension of intensity. Now, let's say in a magnetic material, you have already applied a magnetic field. Now the net magnetic field inside the material is B vector. What is B vector here? Net magnetic field inside the, what is this? Net magnetic field inside the magnetic material. Net net magnetic field inside the material, inside the material. ठीक है ना? Net magnetic field inside the material. Now, if I divide this with mu naught, I'll get the dimensions of intensity. Sorry, intensity of magnetization. Intensity of magnetization. Now, if I remove the internal intensity of magnetization, that is I vector, now what you are left with? You are left with another intensity of magnetization that is present because of external factor. This is because of, so what you can see here, or you can see in other words here, like this. See, net magnetic field you have inside the material divided by mu naught will give what? Net intensity of magnetization, right? So that is equals to what? Some external factor will contribute that plus some internal factor will contribute that. This is your internal contribution. This is your external contribution. Let's say you are getting really confused here. Okay, so you don't need to really go in detail of this. Just remember that this H vector is defined like this. What is H vector here? H vector is your magnetic intensity. Magnetic intensity is basically, now the material already got magnetized, and now if you're taking any volume, you will have intensity of magnetization due to the magnetism produced in the body, inside the material, right? But in that volume, you will find that you will have two factors. One is your intensity of magnetization due to the internal, what you call, magnetism developed, and the external magnetic field will also have some magnetic moment there, right? So the external factor contributing the magnetic moment in that particular volume is taken care by this definition of magnetic intensity. B vector is the net magnetic moment, magnetic field inside the material. If you divide that by mu naught, I told you will get the dimensions of intensity. But that intensity is now not only due to the internal, what you call, internal magnetic dipole alignment. Even the external magnetic field will have some dipole moment in that volume. This is what you have H vector. So B by mu naught is the H vector plus I vector. Okay. This much only you need to understand and nothing else. Next. You can say like this. Yeah. See, this is basically given by outside. This is your input, and this is your output. In a volume, what is the input magnetization? You can say input is H vector, and output that you have got after applying the magnetic field is your I vector. This is how you can keep this logic in your mind. I know it's really weird, but somehow you have to maintain what you call, at least for till you write the next exam. That is nomenclatures. Now, magnetic susceptibility, how we define? It is chi. It is defined as output by input. Output is what? I. Input is what? H. Like efficiency, you can remember chi. Magnetic susceptibility is what? This. So what is chi? What is I then? Chi into H is basically your I. You should always remember this. Very, very important. Yeah. And then after this, always remember these things. That is, this chi value can be 0 when this is for vacuum. For vacuum, you will not get any magnetization, is 0. I value I is 0, therefore chi is also 0. You will not get any magnetization in vacuum. That's why this is always, whatever input you give, whatever magnetic field you produce in air, you will not find in any volume any magnetization, therefore chi value is 0. Okay. For para, dia, and for diamagnetic, it will be negative. For diamagnetic, it will be negative because they hate. Because the vector wise also, if you see now, though both the vectors will be cancelling each other. So it is basically what vector from vector, whatever values you will have, but they will have opposite sign, right? So for that reason only, diamagnetic. If we say diamagnetic, diamagnetic, magnetic, this value is going to be negative. You have some example like nitrogen at 1 atm, hydrogen at 1 atm. All these things, all these examples are already given as you know. You see that book once. You so what I'm trying to help make you understand here that the sky value can be zero, can be negative also. Next, can be positive also. For diamagnetic, for diamagnetic, magnetic, and then ferromagnetic, ferromagnetic. For diamagnetic, this value is positive. Achha, by the way, I missed one thing here. This is dimensionless. With the ratio of two things, na, so it is dimensionless. This point also you should not miss out. It is dimensionless quantity. There is no dimensions of this. Okay. It will be a small positive value. It will be a small positive value. It will be large positive value. This is what we have. Mantis-Susceptibility. This clear to all of you? Now let's see the last definition. That is your magnetic permeability. वो क्या होता है? ठीक है ना? Let's see magnetic permeability. How much permission you are giving? As simple as this. You are applying magnetic field, but the material should give permission to you, know, that whether you are allowed to develop the magnetism there or not. That factor you you will communicate via this term called as magnetic permeability. So let's see how you define this. So we'll take this H vector from it. Whether again this derivation is not important. I think you should just know the things. But then in order to create some logical image in your mind for this particular topic, I'm writing all these things here. This is how we have defined magnetic intensity. So from here, what is B vector? B vector you will get is what? You will add these two, multiply mu naught. Na? So B vector will be what? Mu naught times of I vector plus H vector, right? But you know this. What is I vector? Chi times of H vector. So I can write a mu naught into what? I vector. So I vector so is like chi times of H vector plus H vector. Right? So we'll get from a mu naught multiply with chi plus 1 into H vector. This entire term, what you see here, this is called as relative, or you can call as magnetic permeability. This is called as magnetic permeability of the material. Mu times of H. This is your magnetic permeability. Magnetic permeability. And you have one more term that is also very, very important. Sometimes they have asked questions based on that. I'll let that term also for you. Relative magnetic permeability. This is the magnetic permeability of the medium. If I ask you relative magnetic permeability, this will equal to what? This is basically mu r. It will be mu by mu naught. What will happen? This mu naught will get cancelled. We will get chi plus 1. So you can see that for diamagnetic, it is negative, but small. It is not very large negative. If you see the values given in the book, na, it is always small negative. So what will happen? It will become a small positive now. This will become a small positive. This will become what? A small positive. But this will be less than 1. This is very, very important. For what? For diamagnetic. They have already asked questions based on this particular data here. That the value of mu r. The value of mu r is small and less than 1. Why? Because when you add a data, very small let's say number to one which is very very small but negative, so what happens? The value will remain positive one because it's not very large number, but this will become less than one. No? Let's say 0.999. They tell you that magnetic permeability for a material is 0.999. What type of material is this? Straight away your answer will be what? Diamagnetic. Okay, because 1 plus something will be what? Diamagnetic or ferromagnetic. But less than 1, positive relative permeability is always what? Is always your diamagnetic material. Okay, so you should not have any confusion regarding this. Now the last, Curie's temperature. For paramagnetic material, always remember that magnetic susceptibility. This is what? Magnetic susceptibility, right? Chi is always inversely proportional to temperature. This is what you have. This is what you have for paramagnetic substances. Absolute temperature, always remember absolute temperature. But what is Curie's temperature? What happens now? If you take ferromagnetic substance, and you start increasing temperature for this substance, what will happen? The alignment will get disturbed now. The alignment will get disturbed. So now a temperature will come. After this temperature will come, that is called as TC, Curie's temperature, where this ferromagnetic substance will start acting like paramagnetic substance. This TC is called as what? Curie's temperature. That's it. This is what you should always keep in mind. Done. And then an important property regarding this para or ferro, I have told you. I mean, this property will be common for these two, and dia. Differentiating factor. What happens now? Let's say you take a material like this. Same material. This is your length. This is your width. This is your length. This is your width. Now, if you apply a magnetic field like this to these materials, what will happen? If it is a ferromagnetic substance or diamagnetic substance, your larger length will get aligned along the direction of magnetic field. So what will happen? This will turn, the orientation will turn like this. The length is more, so length and width will, and in this case, this will remain like this only. Means your larger dimension will be perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field in this case. In this case, your larger dimension will be perpendicular. In this case, the larger dimension will get aligned along the direction of the magnetic field. It is one of the differentiating factors that you have between para, ferro and dia. चलो यार, इसमें किसी को डाउट हो प्लीज कुछ डाउट होना है, कुछ है नहीं, आप स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो इसका अच्छे से, कुछ नोट करना है कुछ नोट कर लो, आप कुछ क्वेश्चंस बनाएंगे इसके अंदर, ठीक है ना? तो आप लोग प्लीज को नोट कर लो, करना है तो फिर कुछ पॉइंट्स को, एंड इफ यू हैव एनीथिंग स्मॉल डाउट्स यू कैन आस्क, यू कैन टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट इफ यू वांट.
सर
हाँ बोलो यार.
Then again, that small positive less than 1 for diamagnetic.
प्लीज देखो क्या है यहाँ पे. See, you are defining chi plus 1 as relative permeability. What is chi here? Magnetic susceptibility. Now this value is small negative for diamagnetic. Na? Small negative. Small negative means what? If you decrease something from 1, not very large, the value is like this. Let's say the value of example I'm giving you. Let's say you have here minus of 0.0001, and if you add that to 1, what will happen in that case? You will get what? 0.999. No? It is less than 1 only, but small positive, less than 1. This will be diamagnetic. For other case, this is already positive. So 1 plus something will be greater than 1. For this also greater than 1. But if the relative permeability is positive and less than 1, it means what? The material is basically diamagnetic. नहीं समझ आ रहा है ये बात?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If any other doubt is there, please ask him. ऐसे आपको ये याद ही करना है, बट मैंने एक तरीके समझा दिया आपको, आप इसको ऐसे समझ सकते हैं. If you really get the feeling of this, na, it's really interesting. Yeah. If you're not able to digest this in a feeling format within your what you call brain, then it's okay. Then you have to just take this as a facts. That's it. If you are able to digest this as a feeling, right, then everything will looks logical. Otherwise, it looks like something is written. That's it. बट कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप फॉर्मूला याद रखो ना, सारा क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा. ऐसा मैं बोलता कभी नहीं फिजिक्स में, बट अभी बोल रहा हूँ मैं. ओके ठीक है, चलो हम लोग कुछ क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करते हैं. Let's solve few. After this is the last topic that we have, I'll discuss that and then that's it. चलो पहला क्वेश्चन, जल्दी जल्दी बताओ, इसका सब बता दो, इसमें तो कुछ है नहीं यार. मेरी बाबा इतना टाइम लगेगा, सब ट्यूबलाइट हो यहाँ पे. और भी लोग हैं, सबको आंसर करना चाहिए. ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, उसे मेरी मैं तो ऐसा नहीं कि मैं दे रहा हूँ, ऐसे क्वेश्चन आते तो मैं क्या करूँ यार, ऐसे ही आते हैं. इसके लिए 1.5-2 लाख रुपए लेता है आकाश, इतना घटिया चीज के लिए. चलो ठीक है. अभी देखा आपने मेडिसिबिलिटी के वैल्यू देखा ना, काई का वैल्यू देखा आपने. ये क्या होता है, स्मॉल नेगेटिव किसके लिए होता है, पारा फेरोकल पॉजिटिव होता है, ये पॉजिटिव होता है, ये भी पॉजिटिव होता है. पारामैटिक एंड फेरोमैटिक मटेरियल, ये दोनों के लिए पॉजिटिव पॉजिटिव होता है, नेगेटिव तो बस यहाँ पे. तो हमने थ्योरी में देखा. इट वाज अ वेरी वेरी लेम क्वेश्चन. ऑब्वियसली वन इट इज आस्क्ड इन नीट, इट हैज टू बी लेम क्वेश्चन यार, ये मैं तो हमेशा बोलता हूँ. 45 क्वेश्चन आता है, उसमें जो बच्चे 40 से कम ला रहे हैं ना नीट में, ट्रस्ट मी, वो फिजिक्स नहीं पढ़ा है उन्होंने टाइम पास किया है. कितना घटिया होता है फिजिक्स नीट का. जितने इंस्टीट्यूट यहाँ पर ड्रामा करते हैं ना, आपको दम वो एम्स पहुंचा देंगे, आप 2 लाख रुपए दे दो उनको, वो सब ड्रामा करते हैं. कुछ भी नहीं आता है फिजिक्स का पेपर, मैं भी देखा हूँ यार. देयर इज नथिंग इन द पेपर, provided you have just studied the things logically, conceptually. Each and every question can be answered in a very less amount of time. ये तो भी मैं बताऊंगा तुम्हें. ये तो हो गया था, ये भी हो गया था, ये भी हो गया था, ये तो बताना मुझे, ये तो बताना. चलो पैसे सॉल्व करो जल्दी सबको. लेट्स सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. अगेन दिस इज मिसलीडिंग, इसको मत देखो, इसको नहीं देखो. दिस इज मिसलीडिंग, द हेडिंग इज मिसलीडिंग. ये ठीक है. दिस बेसिकली शुड बी सीबीएसई केवी मंथली पेपर, मंथली. अब करो अच्छे से. एक पेपर ऐसी यही औकात है इस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन का. अब सॉल्व करो इसको. आराम से मत करो, समय है हमारे पास, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. 10-15 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ लेंगे, कुछ कोई दिक्कत नहीं. अच्छा नींद आएगा, थक जाओगे, अच्छा नींद आएगा. इतनी इज्जत तो नहीं करने लायक है. सबको ही दो, सबको ही दो. इतना अच्छा जगह आया है, सीबीएसई केवी में आया है, मंथली टेस्ट में आया है ये पेपर. अभी भी आप आंसर नहीं कर पा रहे हो, कब करोगे. बहुत लोगों ने आंसर किया है, चल देखते हैं कितने लोगों ने किया. ओके तो यहाँ डी शाश्वत का बनना है, उसी का बनना है। ओ, दो ऑप्शंस में इधर कोलिजन हो रहा है फिर तो। इस क्वेश्चन में दो ऑप्शंस में कोलिजन हो रहा है। चलो ठीक है, हम लोग देखते हैं। ऐसे ये क्वेश्चन आसान है, इसमें कुछ भी कोलिजन का मतलब ही नहीं है। इट्स अ वेरी वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन। चलो सॉल्व करते हैं इसको। कहाँ गया ये? यहाँ पर है, देखो। अभी जस्ट पढ़ाया आप लोगों को मैंने, क्या? विच मटेरियल दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट? पैरामैग्नेटिक मटेरियल। दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पैरामैग्नेटिक मटेरियल, राइट? तो पैरामैग्नेटिक मटेरियल तो आपको पता है, एंटी क्या ही है? दिस इज व्हाट काई। Chi is what? Chi is inversely proportional to 1 by absolute temperature. सिंपल सी बात, यही होता है ना भाई। सिंपल सी बात ये होता है। और एक एब्सोल्यूट टेम्परेचर दिया हुआ है, एक पे निकालने पूछ रहा है। वाह भाई, अब इससे अच्छा तो मतलब कि आपको बोले कि आंसर ही लिख दे यहाँ पे। ठीक है ना, ये आंसर ही लिख दे, साथ में ऐसे लिख दे, आंसर लिख दे, आंसर फिर ऑप्शन दे। तभी 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 आपको सॉल्व करना चाहिए, नहीं? चलो देखो, तो हमें किस पे निकालना है इस पे? तो वो लेट काई प्राइम बाई काई विल बी इक्वल्स टू व्हाट? विल बी टी प्राइम विल बी डिनोटेड, टी विल बी, राइट? So t, so 350 will come here. So what is chi prime then? Chi prime will be equals to chi. Chi is already given to you. What is that? 2.8. So you can see it's a scientific notation here. It's a scientific notation. All the answers are given. Scientific. What does it mean scientific notation? X multiplied by 10 to the power something. Y. This is x lies from where to where x is greater than 1, less than 10. If you write the answer in this format, this is called a scientific notation. So all the four options are given in terms of scientific notation. ठीक है ना? तो आपको ये थोड़ा सा दिमाग में रखने का, ठीक है? चलो सॉल्व करते हैं इसको। और 10 टू थोड़ा सा अलर्ट रहना है, और क्या, इतने तो अलर्ट हो ही आप लोग। तो भैया यहाँ पे टी क्या दिया हुआ है? नया वाला, जैसे पुराना टी है ना, पुराना टी कितना है? 350 अपॉन, ये तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट डिवीजन आ गया है, इसमें तो जान चला जाएगा बहुत लोगों का। 2.8 इंटू द पावर -4, 7, अब 5 से 7 आ जाएगा यहाँ पे, 6/7, ठीक है ना? और चाहो तो थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे ये 3 हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा 1.4, और थोड़ा सा करके देख लो इसको, कितना हो जाएगा? ये हो जाएगा 2 पॉइंट कुछ 2.33 कर लो। 6 और 10 था 2.33, दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई कर लो, तो 14 इंटू 23, दो हाथ से लेख 42, 8 1 2 बार 2 से ले 2 पॉइंट समथिंग, 2.2 समथिंग गेटिंग। तो मैंने इधर किया हो, कुछ देख लेना। 2.2 10 to -4 यहाँ अवेलेबल इस आंसर फॉर द क्वेश्चन। नहीं यार, मैंने कुछ गलत किया है, 3 में आंसर दिया हुआ है, आंसर तो ये दिया हुआ है, तो मैंने कुछ गलती के बाद क्वेश्चन, 1 मिनट यार, मैंने कुछ जल्दी जल्दी में उल्टा सीधा कर दिया लगता है। आंसर इसका दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे 1, देखते हैं। 2.8 तो सही है, इसमें तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है, इसमें तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं। क्या यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है? 2.8 10 to the power -4, यहाँ दिया हुआ 350, इधर 300, ठीक है टा 7 से गलती यहाँ हो गया था, ये हाँ ठीक है ना, 7 into 5 7 जा, एंड दिस इज 6 7/6, राइट? 6 था, ओ यहाँ गलती हुआ था, ये भी सही था, 3 था, और यहाँ पे कितना था? 1.4, ये भी सही है। और दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करने पे कितना आ जाएगा? हमारे पास आ जाएगा 8, यहाँ से 2, 9.3, obviously 3.2 something, this is what we have, ठीक है ना? ऑप्शन नंबर 1 वाज द करेक्ट आंसर। वेरी वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन, बेसिक एलिमेंट्री क्वेश्चन, आप देख सकते हो। ऑब्वियसली जेईई मेन में है, आप जानते हो, आप समझ सकते हो कैसा क्वेश्चन आता है। यू हैव टू जस्ट स्लाइटली ओपन यार, ठीक है ना? आप इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले सकते हो। टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट फास्ट इफ यू वांट। So now let's solve the next question, and then after this question we'll discuss the hysteresis, and then we'll solve the remaining, which are very very easy, and this will get over. So चलो हम लोग इसको solve करते हैं next. चलो एक और बच्चों वाला क्वेश्चन। चलो आज शाश्वत है, शाश्वत स्टडीज इन डीपीएस, सो देयर इज अ न्यू स्टूडेंट है, so we will give some fame to DPS also. It's a very famous school in Bangalore in India. So like this came in DPS monthly test. DPS monthly test. We solve this question. अब इतना बेइज्जती मत करना, तो आंसर ही बोल देना, थोड़ा सा इज्जत रखो यार। अच्छा 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 स्कूल है। प्लीज सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन। Paramagnetic substance in the form of a cube with sides 1 centimeter has a magnetic dipole moment 20 × 10⁶ जूल जे पर टेस्ला. ओके, जूल पर टेस्ला कुछ लिखा है, ठीक है, हो सकता है ना, एनर्जी होता है ना, एनर्जी से आया है ये यूनिट. व्हेन अ मैग्नेटिक इंटेंसिटी ऑफ दिस इज ओके. इतना फास्ट आंसर आ रहा है, ओ माय गॉड. सबको ट्राई करो यार, इतना फास्ट है, मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा इजी है. डीपेस की एकदम नाक काटी जा रही है यहाँ पे. Trying to defame what you call deepest school. It's really bad. अरे इतने लोग आंसर कर रहे हो. क्या आंसर आ रहा है देखे जरा. यहाँ पे आंसर आ रहा है 4. शाश्वत नहीं डिफेम किया है. चलो F कहाँ से डाल रहे हो यार. डी बोलो. हाँ वही तो. चलो तो 4 लोगों ने डी आंसर दिया है अभी तक, ठीक है ना. चलो देखते हैं इसको. डन. चलो देखो कहाँ गया यार. ट्राई कर लो, बहुत ही आसान क्वेश्चन है, आपको करना चाहिए. सबने बनाया है, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. देयर इज नथिंग इन दिस क्वेश्चन. इट इज अटर इजी यार. क्या दिया हुआ है आपको यहाँ पे. एक आपको शायद यहाँ पे दिया हुआ क्यूब दिया हुआ, ठीक है. क्यूब तो बचपन से देखते आ रहे हो आप लोग. फटाफट बना लेंगे क्यूब. एक क्यूब बना लो ऐसे करके. क्यूब हो गया यहाँ पे, ऐसे क्यूब बन गया. चलो क्यूब तो तैयार हो गया. फिर क्या दिया इसका 1 सेंटीमीटर, मतलब सारा लेंथ क्या है 1 सेंटीमीटर का दिया हुआ है, ठीक है. मैग्नेटिक डाइपोल मोमेंट इज गिवन टू एज व्हाट 20. अच्छा, ये जूल पर टेस्ला होगा मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट. कैसा. एनर्जी क्या होता है, माइनस बी डॉट म्यू डॉट बी होता है ना, म्यू डॉट बी. तो देखो ना, ये जूल पर टेस्ला आ गया ना म्यू का, तो ये गलत यूनिट नहीं है. जूल पर टेस्ला भी एक वैलिड यूनिट है किसका, मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट का. आप तो समझ सकते हो, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन दिस, राइट. ये गलत बिल्कुल नहीं है. तो तुम्हें यहाँ पे देखो मैग्नेटिक इंटेंसिटी दिया हुआ है, ठीक है. इंटेंसिटी दिया हुआ है, मैग्नेटिक सब्सिडी पूछ रहा है. व्हाट इज आई बाय द वे. इट इज जस्ट द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ मैग्नेटाइजेशन बाय एच. यही होता है ना भाई, यही वैल्यू होता है, ठीक है. तो चलो देखते हैं हम लोग. तो और हम लोग इंटेंसिटी मैग्नेटाइजेशन कैसे निकाल लेंगे, ये तो निकालना बहुत आसान है. इट इज अबाउट मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम. वॉल्यूम हमें पता है इसका. तो मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट तो हमें दिया हुआ ही है, क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट 20. ये तो क्या होता है, मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट होता है ना. मान लो उसको कैपिटल एम इंटू मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट लिख देते हैं. मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट एम. हियर वॉल्यूम. वॉल्यूम यू नो इट वेरी वेल, राइट. डिवाइड बाय you have to write h. H is what, magnetic intensity. हाँ, तो हम लोग h कैसे निकालेंगे. हम लोग मैग्नेटिक इंटेंसिटी निकालना, क्या दिया हुआ, वो भी दिया हुआ है. लो भाई, वो भी तुम्हें क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है. इस क्वेश्चन में करना क्या था मुझे नहीं समझ में नहीं आया. सही मैंने डीपीएस बोला है, डीपीएस में आया ये दिया, सब दिया हुआ है. आपको बस डेटा इंसर्ट करना है, मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट डाल दो. 20 × 10⁻⁻6. तो कोई बंदा यदि IIT जेई मेन निकाल रहा है ना, आपको लग रहा है कि वो बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, तो बेवकूफ आप हो. इस बात समझना, तो फील करना. यदि किसी बंदे को आपने देखा कि जेई मेन निकाल लिया है और उसको अच्छे स्टूडेंट की अच्छा है, नो डाउट, लेकिन आप उतने ही गंदे हो. इस बात को याद रखना. 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब करोगे तो ऊपर चला जाएगा ये आपका 100 और ये 100 तीन मल्टीप्लाई होगा. और एच तो दिया हुआ ही आपको 16 10⁻³ 10⁻³ मतलब कि ये तो 3 गायब ही हो गया. इससे एक और जीरो यहाँ से गायब कर दो, ठीक है ना. अब जो बचा कुचा है ये एक जीरो, 2 जीरो 3 जीरो, तो 10⁻³ बच जाएगा. 10⁻³ तो 2/3 10⁻³ बचा है. एक 10 इसमें एक इसमें 10 और जोड़ दो इंटू 10 डिवाइड बाय. तो फिर यहाँ पे कुछ गलत तो नहीं किया ना, 1 2 3 हटा दिया, सही है ना.
1/3 ना
सर. इट्स 1/3 सर.
सॉरी
1/3.
ठीक है 1/3 सॉरी. 0.33 आ जाएगी, जीरो हटा दो 3.33 आ जाएगा आंसर. ठीक है ना. तो देखो इतना वाहियात क्वेश्चन आता है, समझे ना.
तो 10⁻⁻4 हो जाएगा ना.
1/3 10⁻³ है ना, यहाँ पे 10⁻³ दिया. एक मैं यहाँ मैं डाल देता हूँ 10 ऐसे 1/10. अच्छा हाँ 10⁻4 हो जाएगा यार, गलत किया क्या मैंने. तो ये आंसर आ जाएगा 4 आ जाएगा, नॉट 1. सॉरी, ठीक है जो भी, सॉरी यार. देन 4 विल कम. स्मॉल मिस्टेक हो गया, ठीक है। तो आप देख सकते हो क्वेश्चंस काफ़ी आसान होते हैं। ऑब्वियसली मैं थक गया हूँ इसलिए मैं ऐसे शायद बिहेव कर रहा हूँ, नॉर्मली ऐसा नहीं होता है, ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। चलो तो अब लास्ट पार्ट पढ़ लेते हैं। आई नो आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग स्लाइटली मोर टाइम फ्रॉम योर वेरी प्रीसियस टाइम व्हाट यू कॉल दैट यू हैव इन योर लाइफ, और दे दो यार, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। एक लास्ट टॉपिक पढ़ लेते हैं हम लोग, हिस्ट्रेसिस, जो कि सही बहुत आसान है। उसे क्वेश्चन और ही बच्चों की तरह आपको दिखेंगे। चलो देखते हैं उस लास्ट टॉपिक को। पहले तो एक चीज याद रखो कि हिस्ट्रेसिस जो होता है ना, इट इज गिवन बाय विच टाइप ऑफ मटेरियल, फेरोमैटिक सब्सटेंस। इसको रट लो पहले तो, इससे बहुत बार क्वेश्चन आ चुका है। ये हिस्ट्रेसिस फेरोमैटिक सब्सटेंस ही एग्जिबिट करता है। अब ये क्या होता है उसको मैं समझाने की कोशिश करता हूँ। चलो देखो। अच्छा, by the way, mostly in this week you will have a start of chemistry classes with a very good teacher of chemistry. Not Saurabh at this moment. Saurabh will start tomorrow some topic, but for organic we have like I had a very good teacher who was teaching earlier, and for that same because of same teacher only that the percentile was 99 percentile at this time, 99 point I guess 3-4. Kassis scored that because the teacher was really good. Yeah, trust me. He was taking the classes, and we have got the feedback for the same teacher. So we have taken him for teaching you people. So he is starting the classes from this Saturday. Every Saturday Sunday he will take 2-hour class here. I have told him to start with GOC, General Organic Chemistry. So I request all of you, please revise the chemical bonding studied in class 11th, atomic structure, and whatever you can revise about GOC. I think Saurabh has already discussed with all of you in detail. So just revise once so that you will enjoy his classes here. ठीक है ना? So I will tell you the schedule, and from next week onwards, like we'll see, like whoever are interested to write weekly test, you can let us know. Okay, there will be a small enrollment fee for that, yeah, because we have to. It's basically not our what you call product, and we have to give it to someone, and then they'll conduct the test. We'll make the papers, but we'll get the online test, and you will get the marks also for the whole year. You will get the rank also, whoever are participating. So you will get the complete rank also there. Okay. So it is exhibited by ferromagnetic substance. बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक है, बहुत बेसिक टॉपिक। मैं डिटेल में जाता हूँ, जल्दी खत्म कर देता हूँ यार। But it's not like you will not be able to understand. ऐसा नहीं करूँगा। See, I'm writing two coordinate axes. I'm writing a coordinate axis with the help of two lines here. This is the origin. This is your x-axis. On x-axis we are plotting H, that is your magnetic intensity, and here we are plotting intensity of magnetization. This is basically your input. This is basically your output. As simple as this. So what happens? The graph is like this. The graph that you will find here will like this. I will explain this graph. Let me draw this graph first, and then I'll explain this graph to all of you. My diagram can be like really weird here, but yeah. It should be symmetrical. मैं बना नहीं. चलो कोई बात नहीं. This is how the graph will look like. I'll tell you what's the meaning of this graph now. You'll first go from O to A. Will come from A to B. Then B to C. Then D. Then E. Then F. And then again you will meet at A. Now what is this graph all about? Let's try to understand that. Now we have taken a magnetic material. That magnetic material is a ferromagnetic substance. एक कोई ferromagnetic material लिया तुमने इसको? We have taken some ferromagnetic substance. So obviously इसका क्या होगा? Mu net will be 0. अभी कोई magnetic moment इसमें नहीं है. Mu net is 0. कोई magnetic moment नहीं है अंदर में. ठीक है. Now you are applying this H here. Due to this, what will happen? Due to this, you will see that intensity. You will get some magnetization inside. This vertical line indicates what? For every H, you can see I here. No? Now, when you start remove, what is the meaning of coming back? Basically, you are removing the external field, right? You have completely removed external field, but still some magnetism left out. This is very important here. OB is called as retentivity. OB is called as what? Retentivity. Retentivity or residual magnetism. Again, what you did to remove this, you are trying to apply the field in the opposite direction. Achha, by the way, always remember, if this value is given to you, let's say you are working with solenoid, mostly they ask question with respect to solenoid only. Okay, you know that this can be related to what? This is straight away mu naught times of I. I've discussed, because intensity of magnetism and C both will have same unit. Straight away you can equate this with mu naught times of I. It's very important to solve numerical. I'll tell you how it will help you. Sorry, उल्टा कर दिया मैंने. Sorry. क्या यार. क्या था उसका आई का वैल्यू स्टार्टिंग डिराइव किया था ना. 10 सेकंड है. कहाँ गया भाई. ये तो दो पेज था ना. ni हाँ ni होगा. सॉरी. This will be always ni. I'll tell you how to use this concept of ni. दिमाग मेरा भी काम करना बंद कर दिया. कोई नहीं. ये ni होगा. ये जो वैल्यू दिया हुआ कैसे ni होता है and how we use, I will tell you with the help of some numericals. अब देखो कैसे काम करता है. n is what number of turns per unit length और I क्या है तुम्हारा current through each turn. यदि solenoid की बात कर रहा है तो ठीक है ना. Means what, in solenoid you have put some material and you are trying to develop magnetism in this some ferromagnetic substance and then you're talking about, okay, तो ऐसा कुछ बात हो रहा है. ठीक है ना. This is your ferromagnetic substance. So now you have completely removed the magnetic field, but still some amount of magnetism is left in the material. This OB indicates what? OB is called as retentivity or residual magnetism. To remove that, now you apply the field in the opposite direction, right? So what will happen? Now, why I'm telling you this? By the way, you know this now. The net magnetic field is what? Net magnetic field, whatever is present, is basically what? Is chi times of H vector. That's why when I say H, is actually the B vector. And the B vector depends upon what? Whatever you have applied from outside. Basically input thing. So this is called as what? Coercivity. Means what? The reverse magnetic field, magnetic intensity what you have applied in order to remove the intensity, in order to bring the intensity of magnetization to zero. Means what? You have to completely remove. You're completely removing. By the way, this you will see that this will be symmetrical. OC and OF will be symmetrical. OB and this OE will be symmetrical. If you see, you will see the question. You will realize these things. Okay. So this is called as, so OC is called as what? Coercivity. Coercivity. ठीक है ना. And same thing, if you continue to apply same field, you will go to, it will reach to saturation here. Means what? Now you can't further. All the dipoles have already aligned themselves to the maximum alignment possible in the material, and then you start to removing this. Again, same thing, and reach here. This entire loop area will give you the heat. Because what will happen here? The material will get magnetized and then demagnetized, again magnetized in the opposite direction, again demagnetized. So you will have a complete from here to here magnetization. You're trying to demagnetize here, completely demagnetized, again magnetized here, then demagnetized. At this point, again magnetized, again the same thing will continue after this. So it is what? From here to here magnetization, then from here to here demagnetization, again magnetization in the opposite direction, again demagnetization, again magnetization, again demagnetization. So this process will continue. This area what you see here is basically the loss. It gives the energy loss. Gives you energy loss. Energy loss during this process of. So if you want, you can take the screenshot here. अब इसके एक दो क्वेश्चन बच्चे वाला बना लेते हैं और फिर क्लास को खत्म कर देंगे. Okay, let's see some questions now. चलो कुछ क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं. चलो ये बच्चों वाला क्वेश्चन पटाक सॉल्व करो. ये तो अभी केवी में आया था, लास्ट ऑनलाइन टेस्ट में आया था. केवी का ऑनलाइन टेस्ट में आया था. केवी हेब्बाल ऑनलाइन टेस्ट में आया था. एक क्वेश्चन जल्दी सॉल्व करो इसको. दिस क्वेश्चन केम इन केवी हेब्बाल ऑनलाइन टेस्ट. बच्चे बहुत पढ़े थे इसके लिए, ओ माय गॉड। हेलो, 2 मिनट में कॉल कर दूंगा, क्लास खत्म होगा, 2 मिनट। सॉल्व दिस, जल्दी सब सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, इसमें क्या है, फालतू सा क्वेश्चन दे दिया है। सबको दो इसका आंसर यार, देखिए कितने लोगों ने दिया आंसर। ओके, गोविंद निशा, हाँ सबको दो, इसमें है क्या मेरे भाई, इसमें है क्या, आप सब दे सकते हो, इसमें क्या ही है। ओके, अच्छा ये तो यहाँ पे सुनावा भी यहाँ पे। देखो तो ये 1 क्या होता है, अभी पढ़ा रिटेंटिविटी होता है, तो पहला रिटेंटिविटी 1 देखो कहाँ पे आ रहा है, यहाँ पे आ रहा है 1, और कहीं पे 1 है ही नहीं, तो ऐसे भी चेक नहीं करना है, यहीं पे चेक कर लो, ऐसे इतने आप बदतमीज भी नहीं हो। कोएसिविटी 50 होता है, तो 50 दिया हुआ है, और फिर क्या बोलता है सैचुरेशन, सैचुरेशन यहाँ पे देखो, ये सैचुरेशन 1.5 है, तो 1.5 है। बहुत डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन था यार ये, किसी बंदे ने IIT जेईई मेन निकाल लिया, ओ माय गॉड। किसी को स्क्रीनशॉट लेना ले लो यार। देखो ना, फिर भी कितने बच्चे अभी सब सो रहे हैं, 17 बच्चे, उसमें 2-3 बच्चे नए ज्वाइन किए, मतलब 13-14 बच्चे सिर्फ अटेंड कर रहे सेशन को। दे डिजर्व टू फेल इन लाइफ यार, बिल्कुल डिजर्व करते हैं। चलो एक और बच्चों वाला क्वेश्चन, एक क्वेश्चन बचा, दो, चलो 2, वाह 2 ही बचा है, वाह वाह वाह। चलो इसको जल्दी से आंसर करो, इसको इसको तो बच्चे लोग आंसर करेंगे, सारे बच्चे लोग आंसर करेंगे, जल्दी करो इसको, फिर एक और क्वेश्चन और, फिर खत्म। ये आया था एयरफोर्स स्कूल में आया था ये मंथली में, जहाँ सब चीटिंग करके जल्दी से आंसर लिखे थे इसका। ये एयरफोर्स है ना कैंपस के अंदर, उसी में आया था क्वेश्चन। जल्दी बताओ सबको इसका आंसर। For two matching materials A and B given below. These materials are used to make magnets for electric. पता नहीं क्या क्या लिखा हुआ है, क्या आंसर है, चलो देखते हैं। सी 2 लोगों ने तो सी दिया, क्यों भाई, बाकी सब लोग परेशान क्यों, आंसर दो इसका। कितने लोग बचे जरा उसको देख लें सबको जरा इधर। बहुत सही, आने दो, रिजल्ट आने दो, बहुत मजा आएगा, चिंता नहीं करो। इनके पापा मम्मी एक बार मेरे से बात करें ना, तो मैं सच्चाई बताऊं, इतने सब नौटंकी करते हैं ना यहाँ पे, सबको आना चाहिए, किसी को पढ़ना नहीं है, किसी को पढ़ना नहीं है। चलो कोई नहीं, प्लीज आया करो, सबसे रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, सबको आना चाहिए। अब तो मैं कल से कॉल भी करना, जितने लोग यहाँ पे एडेड हो, आप लोग प्लीज आया करो, मैं बार बार कॉल भी नहीं करूँगा कल से यार, मैं सोचा हूँ। इट लुक्स लाइक कि मैं आपसे अपील कर रहा हूँ आने के लिए, इतना तो दिन खराब हमारे नहीं आए कि मैं अपील करूँगा आपसे। यदि आपको फायदा हो रहा हो, नहीं हो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, जिंदगी जीते रहो, स्कूल में टॉप करते रहो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं भाई। लेकिन आप सबको आना चाहिए, इतने 40 लोग हैं सब मिला के, कोई नहीं आता है मैं सब क्या करते हैं। चलो सी, 3 लोगों ने सी दिया, आप सबको देना चाहिए था यार, इसमें क्या था इस क्वेश्चन में मेरे भाई। चलो देखते हैं, शायद गलत भी हो सकता है, ऐसी बात नहीं है, लेकिन सही भी हो सकता है, चलो देखते हैं इस क्वेश्चन को। So what is the specialty that you can see here यार, आपका स्पेशलिटी इधर क्या है, देखो इस क्वेश्चन में, इजी क्वेश्चन, एक बार देखोगे तो तुरंत समझ में आ जाएगा क्वेश्चन में क्या है, ठीक है। तो देखो, पहले तो ये जो विड्थ होता है ना, ये विड्थ, इफ यू हैव मोर विड्थ हियर मींस व्हाट, यू विल हैव मोर लॉस, समझ लेना, मोर विड्थ मतलब मोर लॉस, लेस विड्थ लेस लॉस, बिकॉज यू विल हैव कंप्लीट मैग्नेटाइजेशन डिमैग्नेटाइजेशन ना। अब ट्रांसफार्मर में आप जहाँ देखियो, इन ट्रांसफार्मर व्हाट विल हैव प्राइमरी कॉइल्स एंड विल सेकेंडरी कॉइल्स, यू विल हैव ना। So if you pass current here, you know that the material, you will have core here. So core will complete, in the material of the core is ferromagnetic substance. So obviously ferromagnetic, that's why it's transformer they're telling you na. All the things what they have given you here are based on ferromagnetic substance. ठीक है, तो इसमें क्या होगा, इफ दिस विड्थ इज मोर, व्हाट हैपन, यू विल हैव मोर लॉसेस. So obviously while in transformer you should never use this. In transformer you have to use B, less retentivity है, तो ये तो B यूज होगा, ये B यूज होगा. इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेट भी क्या होता है, if you insert a material and you try to magnetize it, so try to magnetize means what, you should quickly get magnetized और थोड़ा सा demagnetize भी करना उसको. तो ये भी B होगा. Again same thing here, also losses should be less, right? So सब मिला क्या होगा, B is what you are going to use for electromagnets and transformer. By the way, generator में हम लोग यूज नहीं करते हैं, generator we don't use ferromatic substance as a core. तो ये तो ऐसे भी ऑप्शन में नहीं आएगा generator, तो there is no point because this graph is exhibited only by ferromatic substances and ferromatic substances you use in the core. इसमें हाँ यूज करते हो कि ट्रांसफार्मर में यूज होता है, लिम्स होते हैं ना, लिम्स इसके ऊपर वाइंडिंग देते हो आप लोग, that is the limbs, right? So उधर यूज होता है. और इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेट ठीक है, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेट में क्या होगा, you will have coils here and then in this you will put the material for magnetization, right? तो ऐसे होता है, ठीक है. तो C is the correct answer. ये विड्थ से पहचानते हैं हम लोग, ठीक है. You want to take the screenshot. Now we'll see the last question for today, यार. And I'm really sorry if I'm hurting someone, यार. मैं किसी को हर्ट नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, बट हम लोग भी इंसान हैं, हम लोग भी काम करते हैं. चलो सॉल्व करो इसको. The BH curve for a ferromagnet is shown in the figure. The ferromagnet is placed inside a long solenoid. वही जो मैं बोल रहा था अभी थ्योरी में, तुम्हें ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन आते हैं, यही सब जगह ही क्वेश्चन आता है, आप देखना ना, इसके बियॉन्ड कोई सिनेरियो ही नहीं है. Solenoid 100,000 पर the current that should pass, क्या है इस क्वेश्चन में यार, ये 2 दिया हुआ है ना, अभी बोला 2 किसके बराबर होता है, Ni के बराबर होता है सर, यही हम लोग पढ़ा ना, Ni के बराबर होता है. I तुम्हें निकालना है, I 2 is what, number of turns per unit length. Number of turns per unit length क्या दिया यहाँ पे, 1000 turns per centimeter ना, तो 1000 turns 1 centimeter. In 1 centimeter how many meter you will have here, 1/10 ऐसा कुछ गलत किया ना, 100 हो जाएगा, सॉरी 1/100, ठीक है ना. तो 1 2 3 तो हटा ही दो, इधर 3 घटा दो, 10 to the power -3, 2/10 तो 0.2. 0.2 तो जाए नहीं यार, कुछ गलत कर दिया क्या मैंने. Ni था नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स.
सर 1000 टर्न्स आपने 100 किया.
ओह सॉरी यार, दिस इज योर 1000, ऊपर 1000 आ गया, तो ठीक है 2/1000 तो भी तो आंसर, तो क्या गलत हो गया, एक मिनट. ये तो अभी बताया था किसके बराबर होता है, ये वाला चीज Ni के बराबर होता है. हमने स्टार्टिंग में Ni नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स पर लेंथ होता है, तो हमें I निकालना, तो Ni का वैल्यू हमें, ये Ni नहीं, ये Ni होगा ना, इंटेंसिटी ये नहीं होगा, मैंने गलती से उसमें बोल दिया था ये नहीं होगा, सॉरी, ये तो कोएफिशिएंट होता है, ठीक है ना. तो इसको इक्वेट करेंगे किससे, Ni का वैल्यू क्या दिया हुआ, नहीं यार ये 2 है, क्या क्वेश्चन क्या दिया एक देखो, द करंट दैट शुड, ओह हाँ सॉरी यार, दोनों Ni ही होगा, लेकिन हमें देखना पड़ जाएगा डेटा को, क्वेश्चन क्या दिया, मैं डेटा पढ़ा ही नहीं, सॉरी. द BH कर्व ऑफ द फेरोमैग्नेट shown in the figure, the ferromagnet is placed inside a solenoid, ठीक है, 100,000 turns per okay. The current that should be passed to demagnetize में तो ये यूज करना पड़ेगा, सॉरी यार, we have to use 100 यार, तो इसको यूज करना पड़ेगा. तो ये वाला फील्ड मुझे क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा, तो इसके रिस्पेक्ट में मुझे वो लेना पड़ेगा. तो इसके रिस्पेक्ट में करंट क्या आएगा, Ni ना, Ni will be equal to 100. इसको सॉल्व करेंगे हम लोग. I will be equal to, यदि ये बोला कि इसमें कितना करंट होगा, इस बेसिकली करंट नहीं, करंट इसी पूछा कि डीमैग्नेटाइज थिंग, सो यही करंट का क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे आता है, इसके रिस्पेक्ट में आता है. तो जस्ट अभी Ni निकाला था स्टार्टिंग में, उसको यूज कर ले यहाँ पे, इट विल बी 100/n हो जाएगा, तो 100 लिख दो आप यहाँ पे. n क्या है, नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स पर मिनट, तो कितना 1000 है, आप इसको 1000 लिख दो भाई, और पर सेंटीमीटर तो हो गया, कितना हो गया ये, इसको 100 कर दो इधर, तो सब कैंसिल ही हो गया. फिर कुछ गलत किया क्या मैंने, नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स पर मिनट लेंथ, ठीक है, 100 1000 दिया हुआ है, करंट 100 है.
सर वो 2 से भी आएगा.
क्या 2 से,
सर जो प्रीवियस वाला आप कर रहे थे वो करेक्ट था.
नहीं नहीं, क्यों, हम लोग रिटेंट, हमको ये करंट पास करना ना, इससे करस्पॉन्डिंग करंट को पास करना ना, इसे कैसे ही करना है, इससे हमें आंसर आएगा, क्योंकि ये चाहिए मुझे, इसके करस्पॉन्डिंग मैग्नेटिक फील्ड से, तो डीमैग्नेटाइज हो गया ना मटेरियल. तो Ni को इससे हमको करना है कंप्लीट, Ni इससे होगा, सही कर रहा हूँ, उसमें गलत नहीं है. देखो मैं कुछ कैलकुलेशन गलत कर रहा हूँ, ऐसे लॉजिकली सब कुछ सही चल रहा है, देखता है इसमें, क्योंकि आपको डीमैग्नेटाइज करना, दिस करस्पॉन्डिंग टू दिस यू हैव टू गेट द करंट. इट इज गिवन टू 100 ni के बराबर होगा, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं, 100 विल बी इक्वल टू ni, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं, ठीक है। मैं कुछ गलत कर रहा हूँ सब लिखने में। नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स पर लेंथ, तो लेंथ क्या दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे 1000 पर यूनिट टर्न्स ना, तो 1000 यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है, ये 1000 दिया हुआ है इंटू पर सेंटीमीटर, तो ये कितना है मीटर में 100 से मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा इंटू क्या आई, इधर क्या है तुम्हारा 100 है, 100 कैंसिल हो गया, आ तो गया आई इक्वल टू 1 मिली एम्पियर आ गया, हो गया इज आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन। यहाँ से नहीं होगा, इससे क्यों होगा, इससे कोई मतलब ही नहीं है। दे आर आस्किंग यू टू डीमैग्नेटाइज, डीमैग्नेटाइज मतलब क्या, इधर जो करंट पास करना है ना उससे डीमैग्नेटाइज हो जाता है, इससे करस्पॉन्डिंग जो करंट है जो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड बनेगा उससे हमको मतलब है, बस में है इसके मुझे मतलब, इससे मतलब है मुझे। चलो ठीक है, डन फॉर टुडे, होप यू एंजॉयड दिस टुडे सेशन, सबको मजा आया। आज के लिए खत्म, एंजॉय करो आप लोग, गुड नाइट।